Jaco, I've got an email here. It says that two of this employer's employees were engaged in a physical fight. It was during working hours. They used vulgar language, according to the employer. They had uniforms on. It was during working hours that it happened. Somebody else recorded that and published that on TikTok. How will you deal with this case?
All right. Yeah, thank you, Gerrit. I think there's two issues that need to be addressed. The first issue is obviously the fighting in the workplace, which is unacceptable behavior. I assume that the employer will have a disciplinary code in place stating that fighting is not permitted. So that is very serious misconduct, and those two employees should be charged with assault, and which may well lead to their dismissal. It's a very serious misconduct.
And if the employer doesn't have a code?
Well, this is probably one of those misconducts or actions which is so well known that the employer should have known that they are not permitted to fight at the workplace. So that argument can be made to say, well, you should have known it, even if it's not strictly contained in a code or policy, and therefore you breach the rule. Because one of the requirements of the labour law for substantive fair dismissals is that the rule must be known. So if there's no policy, then at least you must be able to convince a commissioner or a chairperson that the rule is a kind of a common law rule, and the employee should have been aware of it and therefore should have known they should not breach it. That's the first issue. The second issue is obviously the video recording that was placed on TikTok by, I'm assuming if it was during working hours, by another employee. The fact that the workplace could be clearly identified, the vehicles of the employer was in full view, the employees was in uniform of the employer, obviously identifies the employer quite clearly to anybody watching the TikTok video. So that employee who posted it should have also realized that his conduct will bring the company name.
He's also in trouble.
Yeah, because his conduct will bring the company name into disrepute. Because what are people going to think about this employer and his employees fighting in the workplace using vulgar language? So he should probably be charged with bringing the company name into disrepute by his actions.
But it is complicated. We don't know what's happened between the two employees and what's caused that and
yes,
so on.
Absolutely. We don't know what led to it.
What led to that, yeah.
Who was provoked or what might have happened. But that will come out during the hearing, obviously.
Yeah.